Yes, we are with Graham Jurgensen, who I spent quite a bit of time with on my recent tour of Africa. He is the head of the Kasparov Chess Foundation Africa, doing great work. First of all, Graham, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Maurice.
Yeah, we haven't seen enough of each other's faces, given that we spent so much time together in Kenya and, of course, in South Africa and on safari in South Africa, where you took me to that godforsaken cold winter in South Africa. But first, let's just talk about the trip itself. Let's first talk about your mission in Africa, working with the Kasparov Chess Foundation.
I think we started it around about 2012. Foundation was the third out of the group of Kasparov Chess Foundations that have been founded around the world. We work at the moment in 6 countries. We are operational in Lesotho, in Kenya, in South Africa, in Rwanda, in Madagascar, and in Uganda. Got about 55,000 children in a chess and schools program across those different countries using the mini chess program. And then we also promote chess as a tournament. We did about 26 FIDE-rated tournaments last year across the continent, and occasionally do tours like the one that you did to promote the game, I think, in different countries.
What's satisfying for you about doing this work? I know you were in the business world before this. You were, I believe, an accountant doing the number crunching, and you decided, hey, I want to get rid of the solid, secure, but potentially boring day job to do something that certainly is impacting real kids and real lives.
Yeah, I think it's been a privilege for me because there's not a lot of people that get to do chess as a professional or get involved in chess as a profession. It's difficult, I think, to make a living if you're not in the top 10 players in the world like the guys that are playing here. But to have a chance to work with Gary, to have a chance to work with the kids across Africa, I feel we're doing work that can make a big difference in the future in terms of, from an educational perspective, having an impact on the kids in Africa, I think, is important.
Yes, we got a chance to visit the kids in Mukuru slum, and those are pictures there also for me playing in South Africa. It was a great trip for me. I mean, totally satisfying. I went because of the Millionaire Chess satellite events that were being held in Kenya and in South Africa as well. But I got a chance to go around and meet so many of those great kids, and you saw some great faces. The impact is absolutely amazing. And there we see a couple of the winners of the satellite events, and that was amazing too. I mean, this safari you took me on, though, was quite a bit of fun as well. We went to South Africa together. Why you picked South Africa? You picked winter in South Africa. I didn't know as a Jamaican boy that it was going to be so cold, but you grew up going to safaris when you were a young man.
Yeah, I think, look, the safari was obviously quite fun, and I know it was probably a lot colder than you expected in Joburg, but it's part of Africa, and I think, for guys that are coming out to the African continent, an opportunity to interact with animals like that is something that very few people actually get to do. So I was glad to have an opportunity to show you that. But the tour itself, in terms of the work that we've been doing with Millionaire Chess, and I think both of us shared the view that there are strong players on the African continent.
Absolutely.
And giving them an opportunity is key. So the tournaments that we do, things like the Millionaire chess events, bringing FIDE-rated tournaments with decent opportunities for players to go overseas, I think is key for us. Because one of my strong beliefs is if we can give players an opportunity in Africa, the talent actually exists there.
Absolutely. I mean, I lost to a young player, a 17-year-old, in Madagascar, and he's going to be a future grandmaster. Last name?
Rakota Mahara.
Rakota Mahara. I always have trouble pronouncing that long name. But in Madagascar, a place that's off the physical continent itself, where there are not a lot of opportunities. That I was really saddened by, to see the poverty levels in Madagascar. I was quite shocked by it. I thought it was bad in Kenya when we went there, to the slums anyway, and also in South Africa in the township that we went to. But Madagascar was another level I was not prepared for.
I think Fee's actually a good example there because he's based in France and he lives in France, and the opportunity that he's got to play in French leagues has helped him enormously, I think, to develop his chess career. And there are other players of him. He's 16, 17 years old. There are 13, 14, 15-year-old kids in Africa, well over 2,200. But in order to make the next leap to Grandmaster level requires the opportunity to play in top-level events on a regular basis. And I think for us, providing that opportunity, I think, is key.
Absolutely. I would highly recommend to everyone to take a look at that. There are so many young players in need, and the need was what I saw that really tugged at my soul. Some players I got a chance to talk to, young player Isaiah in Kenya, you remember, I spent about an hour with him as we were walking through the slum that was his home, and you could see the aspiration and the desire to be excellent, but the conditions were just so deplorable that you wonder what's going to happen to him. I remember one of the things he said to me when I was leaving. He looked at me as I was in the car about to leave, and he said, "I'm not going to let you down." Yeah. And later I thought to myself, I should have said that to him, because it's just so tough. But it's great work that you're doing in Africa, and please keep it up. It's wonderful stuff, and we'll certainly keep extolling the virtues of the work that the Kasparov Chess Foundation Africa is doing.
Yeah, and I think just from our side, thank you for doing the trip, because we've had incredible feedback from all three countries in terms of the value of having international players coming, and I think it was very much appreciated.
Well, I'll be going back. That I can promise you. And I'll also be coaching the team. I'll be a volunteer coach for the Ivory Coast team at the Olympiad in Baku, so I'm looking forward to that as well. So the involvement will certainly continue.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Graham. Graham Jurgensen doing great work with the Kasparov Chess Foundation Africa. Certainly a place that needs it, and it's great to see great people like Graham making it happen on the ground.